What is going on, guys? It's Cameron, and in front of your face we have Invincible Iron Man issue 5, and I honestly have to say, this issue is just awesome. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the attitude from Tony Stark, or maybe it's just how awesome Tony Stark is with his Iron Man suit. I don't know, but either way, it is just so refreshing to read a series as good as this. Always keeping you hooked, and I don't know why, but you just cannot wait to buy the next issue. But since we're reviewing this, what happened in the previous issue? Well, towards the end we saw Mary Jane introduced to the comic. Dr. Doom and Iron Man actually went to face off against Whitney, and that's when the issue ended, so that is exactly where this issue is going to be picking up. And we're going to get a hell of a lot more Mary Jane in this issue, so without further ado, guys, let's jump into it, let's review this issue, and let's get on with it. So one of the things that I loved about this issue right off the bat was the fact that it mainly focuses on Mary Jane. Like, if you remember, Mary Jane moved away from New York City and Peter Parker and Spider-Man at the end of the Superior Spider-Man series because she was sick of all the superhero stuff and the villains attacking her and always being the victim. And she's moved away, and now Iron Man, Dr. Doom and Whitney Frost are fighting in her club. So it's almost like she's destined to be involved in all this craziness and she just can't escape it. So what I loved about this comic was that we actually got a perspective from Mary Jane about how she's conflicted with all this craziness going on around her and just how she can't escape all this superhero stuff. You can also see from reading this comic that the humour just hasn't left Tony Stark's character at all, and one of the highlights of the comic for me was when he was referring to the mystical bubble as a burrito with mystical taco or something crazy like that. I thought that was awesome. And as for Whitney Frost as a character in this comic, she genuinely scared me. I genuinely felt fear as if she was some mad demon creature, especially because she has absolute power right now, so Tony Stark and Victor Von Doom will not be able to take her down. And for a moment, Tony Stark was actually going to die. He was literally going to die by the hands of Whitney Frost. But luckily for Tony Stark, this is why I love Mary Jane so much, she absolutely beats the crap out of Whitney Frost with a mic stand. And this is why I love Mary Jane as a character, because she's written so well. She's not the damsel in distress that you're used to. She didn't just run away and go into hiding and be afraid and watch these superheroes battle it out. She actually got involved, and it's almost like she's attracted to this type of lifestyle, almost like Watson out of Sherlock. I don't know whether you've seen the Sherlock TV series, but it's incredible, so you should check it out. But you know, like how Watson is just attracted to that dangerous lifestyle? That's something that I feel like Mary Jane has in her as well. And hopefully soon, one day in the future, we will see Peter Parker and Mary Jane back together, especially because Peter Parker has his own company now. So it would definitely lead to an interesting read and interaction if Peter and Mary Jane did actually get back together, since their lives have just changed so much since they've broken up. But anyway, enough of Mary Jane and Peter, we're in an Iron Man comic. And as you can see, we've discovered that Whitney Frost has become a demon because she's taken on so much power. So a demon from the Mystic Zone has actually tried breaking into the Life Zone and all that messed up stuff. And I thought it was genuinely awesome and so packed with emotion when Tony Stark held his hand out and his armor just peeled off him to contain Whitney Frost and this demon. You could really see it in Tony Stark's face that he was gobsmacked at what has happened to Whitney Frost. You could really see that he was feeling for the character, and it really put across those emotions from the page to the reader of the comic. It was just brilliant. Now, I don't know about you guys, but so far throughout these issues, it really does seem like Iron Man's suit can do everything. It is good in every single situation so far, which is a little bit crazy and a little bit convenient, but I ain't judging. Something else that I totally didn't expect was for Victor Von Doom to genuinely help Tony Stark and Whitney Frost break this demon and send it back to like the demon zone or wherever it's come from. But one of the things that really got me hyped was I could not wait for the Doctor Strange movie after this comic. Like, after seeing all of this in this comic, this is pretty much what we're going to be seeing in the Doctor Strange movie. And I just cannot wait. It almost reminds me of the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves. But obviously this is a lot more flashier and everything like that. But I just cannot wait for the Doctor Strange movie after this. It's really got me hyped up for it, and I think that's why this comic is coming out now, because it's kind of advertising for Doctor Strange with all this mystical powers and stuff. I don't know, what do you guys think? Are you guys looking forward to the Doctor Strange movie? Let me know. And for some of you younger readers, I hope this comic doesn't give you nightmares, because it is a little bit demony and nightmarish, so yeah, just watch out for that. So as we move through the comic and we get into the final few pages, you can see that it got a little bit crazy and all those explosions were going off and mystical powers are flying everywhere. And I'm pretty sure Mary Jane's club is now obliterated. Like, she was just watching from the outside, like watching that beam go up into the sky, as if her dreams were just flying away. So I think it's safe to say that Mary Jane has had a little bit of a tough life recently. And now, as you can see, Doctor Strange has actually come into the comic for like 4 pages. So that's another reason why I feel like this comic is maybe advertising the new Doctor Strange movie coming out. But then again, he was there perfectly. Like, I'm so glad Doctor Strange was in this, especially because he believes that Victor Von Doom is also able to turn over a new leaf. Maybe he is going to become a good guy, but I have a really strange feeling that Victor Von Doom just cannot be trusted at all. Like, there's got to be a bigger plan to what he's doing. There's got to be something else that he's looking for, as if he's planning ahead. So coming up to the finale of the comic, we can see Tony Stark going over to Mary Jane and actually offering her a job. Now the funny thing is that earlier in the comic, Tony Stark actually recognized Mary Jane, but he couldn't quite put his finger on who she was. Now obviously back in the One More Day saga, Mary Jane and Peter were married and they were living with Tony Stark in like the Avengers Tower or something crazy like that. But all of that got erased from existence, so what you've got to remember is that Tony Stark probably hardly even knows Mary Jane now. But I think it's really awesome that Tony Stark is offering her a job. He knows that they basically obliterated her club out of existence. And so he did a little bit of research, looked her up, and it's almost like she's becoming the Pepper Potts of Invincible Iron Man, if you get what I mean. So maybe these guys will have a relationship in the future, even though Tony Stark is seeing someone at the minute. I can really see Mary Jane and Tony Stark getting together as in a genuine relationship, not just like Tony Stark being Tony Stark, but actually going out with Mary Jane. And that might actually aggravate Peter Parker a little bit, because obviously Iron Man is a friend of Spider-Man's, but what are you going to do? Now that is it for the end of this issue, guys. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. This is the first time that I'm going to give a perfect score of 10 out of 10 to an Invincible Iron Man comic. It was just so good and I am so pumped for the next issue. Cannot wait to see how Mary Jane is going to fit into this universe. Now if I'm nitpicking a little bit, I just want to say that I probably would have preferred the cover of the comic from the previous issue to be on this issue, because Mary Jane was on the front cover of the previous issue, but she was literally on it for like the final page or two, whereas I feel like that comic cover would have been a lot better on this one, considering she's in it a lot more. So yeah, that's my only flaw about this comic, but doesn't really take down the score. So yeah, what did you guys think? Let me know about the score. What would you give it? I, for one, cannot wait for the next issue. And with that being said, there'll probably be an early preview of that comic on my Facebook page sometime in the future, so go check that out. The link is in the description. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitter to hear about when my videos are being edited, what comics I'm actually reviewing, and whether I'm having any problems. So yeah. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit like button for more videos like this, and I will see you all later.